Hello, I'm Michael Topham, technical writer for digital photo. Welcome to this video tutorial that's going to show you how to create a stunning water still life image using shots of food colouring dispersing through a vase of water. You'll find all the camera shooting tips you need to photograph food colouring dispersing through water in the magazine. So make sure that you give this spectacular technique a try for yourself. It's not difficult by any means, and all the props you need to achieve the final effect can be purchased very cheaply, or they can be found from around the house. We'll start off in this video by seeing how we can create a frame for our final image using the edges of the vase. At the end of the video, we'll also study how we can copy the best food colouring patterns and shapes from the other images and paste them and blend them into our final image. There are three images that we're going to be using in this technique, and these are emptyvase.jpg, foodcolor.jpg and foodcolor2.jpg. These three files can be found in the Start Images folder on this month's CD, but the first image that we're going to be working on is emptyvase.jpg, so load this up into either Elements or Photoshop. To start off then, we need to make sure that we can see our guide presets. So go up to View in the menu bar, go down and click on Guide Presets, and you'll be able to see a horizontal guideline through the centre of your image. Moving over into the toolbox, select the rectangular marquee tool, and in the options bar, you want to be selected on New Selection, and you want the feather to be set at 0 pixels with the mode set to normal. Just select the top half of the image and make sure that you can clearly see the marching ants. Before we copy this selection, make sure you can see your layers palette, and if you can't see yours, go up to Window and then go down and click on Layers. To copy the selection, go up into the menu bar and click on Edit and then go down to Copy. Next, go up into the menu bar again, click on Edit and then go down to Paste, or you could equally hit the keyboard shortcut which is Ctrl+V. Taking a look in your layers palette, you'll be able to see there are two layers. You've got your main background layer and you've got layer number 1. Make sure that layer number 1 is selected and then go up into the menu bar, click on Image, go down to Rotate, move across and then scroll down and click on Flip Layer Vertical. Moving over to the toolbox, select the Move tool and then take hold of layer 1 and drag this beneath the horizontal guideline. You'll be able to see that I've created a rather neat looking glass frame, but we can now remove that horizontal guideline by going up to View in the menu bar and then just unticking Guide Presets. Before we go any further in this technique, it's important that we flatten the image and crunch both of these layers in the Layers palette down into one. To do that, we go up to Layer and then move down and click on Flatten Image. The next step in the technique is to turn the background behind the vase pure white, and we can do that by creating a new Levels adjustment layer. Move up to Layer in the menu bar and then scroll down to New Adjustment Layer, move across and click on Levels. When the New Layer dialog opens up, hit OK and you'll see how the levels open up on your screen. Click on the Set White Point and then move across and click on the background behind the vase, and you'll immediately see how the background has been turned pure white. To apply this Levels adjustment layer, just move across and then hit OK. Taking a closer look, we can see we've lost some detail over on the left. Go into the toolbox and select the rectangular marquee tool again, and then make a selection of the right edge of the vase. Move up to Edit in the menu bar and then go down to Copy Merged, and then go back up to Edit again, and this time go down to Paste. You'll see that you've got another layer in your Layers palette, layer number 1, and we need to transform that layer by going up to Image, down to Rotate, and then across, and then down to Flip Layer Horizontal. Make sure that you're selected on the Move tool from the toolbox, and then take hold of layer 1 and just drag this across and position it over on the left, and now we've got a much neater looking glass frame. We're very shortly going to be adding a little bit of colour, but before we do that, we need to flatten these layers in our layers palette. So go up to layer and then down to flatten image again. Move up to layer again in the menu bar, but this time go down to new adjustment layer, move across and click on hue and saturation. Tick the small colorize box just above the preview, and then we're looking to enter a hue value of around 211, and then move down to the saturation and type in a value of around 70. We're going to keep the lightness set to 0. Once you've inputted these values, move up and hit OK. So now that we've created our glass frame and added a hint of colour, we're ready to load up the second file, foodcoloring.jpg, from the CD. Head up to File and then down to Open, and then locate the DPCD and the Start Images folder. Click on the file foodcolor.jpg and then click on Open. Before we copy and paste this fascinating food colouring pattern into our main image, we need to turn the background pure white. Go up to Layer, down to New Adjustment Layer and click on Levels. Like we did a little bit earlier, click on the Set White Point and then click once in the image to turn the background pure white. You can now move across and hit OK, and you'll see how that Levels adjustment layer has been added to the Layers palette. Zoom into the image a little by hitting Ctrl and plus on the keyboard, and go across into the toolbox and pick out the rectangular marquee tool. Make a selection of this fascinating colour, and once the marching ants appear, go up to Edit and then down to Copy Merged, and you can close down the file foodcolor.jpg without saving it. With the file emptyvase.jpg still open on your screen, hit the keyboard shortcut Ctrl and V to paste in the food colouring effect. We're looking to transform the food colouring effect of layer 1 so it appears the opposite way up. Go up to Image, down to Rotate, across, and then scroll down and click on Flip Layer Horizontal. Again, go up to Image, down to Rotate, across, and this time select Flip Layer Vertical. To move the food colouring down to the bottom of the glass vase, select the Move tool from the toolbox, and then just drag it down towards the bottom. The next step involves changing the blending mode of layer number 1. Check that it's selected in the Layers palette first, and then click where it says Normal in the Layers palette to load up the list of different blending modes, and you want to select Multiply from the list. Next, hold down Ctrl on your keyboard and click on the Layer 1 Layer Thumbnail to load up the marching ants inside the glass frame. Move up to Image, go down to Transform, move across and click on Free Transform. And the other way of loading up the Free Transform would be to use its shortcut, which is Ctrl plus T. Check that you've got a tick alongside Constrain Proportions in the Options bar, and then just drag out the corners very slightly just to enlarge the food colouring effect inside the vase. When you're happy with the size, to apply the Free Transform, you can hit Enter on the keyboard, and to deselect those marching ants, just hit Ctrl and D. Taking a look at the bottom of the vase, some of the pixels of layer 1 are spilling over the edge of the glass frame, so it's a good idea to tidy up where we can with the Eraser tool. Move into the toolbox and select the Eraser tool, or hit its keyboard shortcut, which is the letter E. Set up a brush in the Options bar and go for a size of around 250 pixels. Make sure the mode is set to brush, and just lower the opacity from 100% down to around 80%. You can then use the Eraser tool to brush away some of those distracting pixels down towards the bottom right and bottom left corners of the glass frame. We can now start thinking about adding another attractive pattern from one of our other food colouring images into this final image. Go up to File in the menu bar and go down to Open and go back into the Start Images folder. You're looking for the file foodcolor2.jpg and then go across and click on Open to load this up into Elements. We need to rotate this file so it's facing the same way up as our final image. So go up to Image in the menu bar, down to Rotate, move across and then go down and click on Flip Vertical. Now zoom into the image by hitting Ctrl and plus a few times on the keyboard and scroll through the image by holding down on the spacebar. Select the Lasso tool from the toolbox and then just make a selection around one of the interesting food colouring patterns, and as you do so and join up the selection, you'll be able to see the marching ants on your screen. Go up to Edit and then down to Copy, and then you can close down the file foodcolor2.jpg, and there's no need to save the file. With emptyvase.jpg still open, go up to Edit and down to Paste, and you'll see that you've now got layer number 2 in the Layers palette. Make sure you've got the Move tool selected in the toolbox, and then move layer number 2 down towards the bottom left of the glass vase. If you fancy increasing the size of layer number 2, hit Ctrl and T to enter Free Transform, and make sure that you've got Constrain Proportions ticked in the options bar. You can then just drag it out very slightly just to increase the size. When you're happy with its new size, hit Enter to apply the Free Transform. Head across into your Layers palette, and we need to change the blending mode of layer 2 from Normal to Multiply. So click where it says Normal and select Multiply from the list, before going up to Enhance in the menu bar, down to Adjust Lighting, across, and then clicking on Levels. To help layer 2 blend in with the rest of the image, we click on the Set White Point once more, and then click on the grey area of layer 2, and then you'll be able to see how it's beautifully blended in to our final image. Go up and hit OK. With all our hard layer work complete, we're ready to save our final image. Head up to File, move down to Save As, choose the location where you'd like to save your image, and then give it the new name foodcolorwater.psd, and I'm saving it as a Photoshop file so I can return to those layers in my Layers palette and make any further adjustments if I need to in the future. So having run through what's involved in this fascinating technique, it's time for you to get creative and take some of your own food colouring shots to work with. It can be a really fun technique to try, and if you don't succeed first time around at getting the food colour droplets as you want them, give it another try with a vase full of clean water. If you're persistent, you'll sooner or later come away with some interesting shapes and patterns that you can experiment with in your software. I hope you've enjoyed this video lesson that's taken a detailed look at how you can create a stunning water image in Elements, and I look forward to bringing you another video lesson very soon. Bye for now.